Hey, welcome back. All right, so in the last couple of tutorials, we worked on kind of completing the blueprint for our moving platform as far as the automatic version goes. What we're going to work on now is making it so that we can control the platform and how it starts so that it's not automatically going from the moment the game starts. We want it so that when the player gets close to a certain set of platforms, maybe one, maybe several, that they will start moving at that point in time. So that's what we're going to work on this time with setting up a volume, kind of like we did with our cannon back when we did the cannon blueprint. And then, of course, the next and final one will be when we set it up so that it is purely interactive. The player controls when it starts and stops by rolling up to it and hitting the E key. But this will give us three different types of platforms to kind of work with so that however you want to set your game up, you can do that. So let's go ahead and jump into it real quick. So here is our scene. These are our automatically moving platforms. And one of the things I want to do, we're going to do a little bit of housework real quick, is I'm going to go to the auto platform here. And I've decided that having a delay here at the beginning, at least for this version and the next version, might be something that's useful. So what I want to do is right in here, I'm going to go ahead and put a delay. That way when we duplicate the blueprint, we don't have to put it in a second time. And then over here, I am going to add in a start delay. All right, and then we're going to change this to a float. I'm going to open the eye up, compile it, and then I am going to give it probably like I'll just do a 3-second delay from the beginning, something just generic, because we can go in and change this now that we have this set up, and I can go ahead and hit save. And if I go in my box here, now I have the start delay. So remember, the restart delay is going to be added into the start delay. So whatever these two numbers are going to be, once after the game starts at the very beginning, these two will kind of combine in so that they'll both be affected at this, both be applied to the platform. So think about that as you're planning your game and how it's going to work out. But for this one, I am going to give it a maybe a 5-second delay on top of the 3-second when it restarts. So initially it'll be 5 seconds, and then after that it'll delay before it restarts, and it comes back down. It fires again, there's a 5-second delay, and then it'll be 8 seconds. So something like that. All right, so if I hit play, and the reason why I wanted to do that is so that in theory, they're supposed to start and stop at different times. I'm not sure I really saw that happen. When I hit play, it's like they fired right away. Ah, wow. Okay, so I'm getting so busy talking about it, I forgot to actually apply it. So let's go ahead and put this start delay in here and connect it up. Wow, it's been a long day. All right, so let's try that now. So there's a delay here. That one should start. And then this one will start. And this gives the player, or you as the designer, a little bit of control so that when the game starts, they do start moving, but they don't have to start moving right away. Okay. And then it'll also make it so that if you have several platforms, once we get the volume set up, not all the platforms will have to start to move at the same time. You have control over how those will be set up. Okay, so the next thing, now that we've got that done, is I'm going to go ahead and go into my content drawer, and I'm going to find my auto platform, which should be my blueprints, under interactables, and this auto moving platform. I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it, and I am going to name this, instead of auto platform, I think this will be, I'll call this volume. Like vol _ auto platform. So that's going to be the volume auto platform. I'm going to open that one up. I'm going to close the other one so we don't get it mixed up. I'm going to hit save. So we've got this one created, and this will be the one that we're going to start working with here shortly. Now the next thing I need to do is we're going to go back into our starter content, into blueprints, and we're going to find our player. and open up our player blueprint. Now, back when we made all this up, we had already set up for our cannons to check to see if the player is nearby, right? And we have this variable that we created, which is a Boolean called PlayerNearBy, and we put it under fire for the name. I'm going to change the name from fire to player bools, and then I'm going to move some other things into it for a little bit of housekeeping. So player bools, something like that. So that way we can put all of these bools that we don't know where to put somewhere else. That way they're just not kind of hanging around. So for the category over here, I can just select it and throw that into player bools now. So the keys also have some place to be. We could have also created one for keys, but you know, we just get kind of crazy adding all these different categories. All right, so those have all been moved over, and we have this player nearby already, so we can pull this one out and use it when we need it. I'm gonna go ahead and compile and save it. So we can pretty much close the player for now, because we're not going to actually pull that one out. We're going to do the same thing we did with the volume. And then the other thing we just want to make sure you have, if you don't have it already, is remember back when we did it, back all the way in video number 10, we created this function list. So this blueprint function list, and inside of that blueprint function list, we created this ability to get our player so we can reference our player. And we're going to end up needing to do that because we're going to reference our player and then turn on or turn off that bool that we just stuck into that player nearby bool. If you haven't done it before and you're just kind of jumping in on this one, this was covered all the way back in video number 10 when we were working on adding the health progress bar to our HUD. If you scroll down to here to 623, you'll see where we created our blueprint function list and how to do that. And it's right. It's going to be right in here. This is not it right here. This is actually the health bar, but once it moves a little bit further into the video, you'll see it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that. And it should look something like this once you create it. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our function list all set up. So let's go ahead and start making our volume. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about, I guess, here is we have this cannon firing area, right? We already created this once. You could duplicate this and then rename it, and then we could just change out this fire cannons right here with the interactables that we're going to create. And that reminds me we need to jump in and create those interactables. But for those of you that are just kind of jumping in for the first time in this video, I'm going to revisit making this volume just real quick. So, but there are some things we still need to, of course, do. So let's go ahead and go into our content folder and then into our inputs, into interactions. And right now you see we have the BPI fire cannons and a BPI interaction. I'm going to right click and I need another interface. So I'm just going to type in interface up here at the top, and we want a blueprint interface. And this blueprint interface I'm going to call BPI underscore platform volume. Okay. And I'm going to double click, open that up. And the new function is going to be, we'll call it start platform moving. Something like that. All right. Compile and save it. And the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make a blueprint, and we're going to need to set this up so that we can call it. So let's go back into our content, into our blueprints folder. We're going to make this an interactable as well. And I'm going to right click. We're just going to go ahead and go to blueprint class. We're going to make another actor. All right, and we're going to call this actor BP underscore platform area. We know that way we know what it is. We're going to double click on it and we're going to save it. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw a box into here. So I'm going to add in a collision box. So box collision, and I'm just going to call it box interact area. Compile it. Now with the box selected, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here, and I'm going to select both of these on begin overlap, and then of course it's going to disappear on me. And then I'm going to go back to the viewport and select it again. And I'm also going to select the end overlap. That way they both appear in here. And I'm sure I've got the ones I want. Okay. Go ahead and compile. We could have also done it with just calling an event begin overlap. We have those up over here as well. But these work just the same. Okay, so we have an other actor and an other actor here. So one of the things I want to make sure is that what we're interacting with is our player. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to get player pawn. Okay. From here, from the other actor, I want to make sure, so I'm going to use the equals button, that is indeed the other player, and I'm going to do a control duplicate, and I'm going to do the same thing for this direction. And then I'm going to get a branch. Control D, put it down here. Line it up, connect it here. Something like that. Connect these up. So we're going to do a check to make sure that the other actor is the player. And then once we've determined that it is the player, we're going to go ahead and right click and we're going to get player. And this is where our BPFL, so our blueprint function list, comes into play. This is where we want to get that player. Okay. And we're going to want to set PlayerNearBy. And if we're in, and if once it is indeed the player, we're going to set it nearby if it's interacting. And then down here, I'm going to do a control D to duplicate it. The target again is the player. And we're going to uncheck it because once the player leaves, the player is no longer obviously nearby. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to call that interface that we created. So let's go ahead and compile and save this. Now, first things first, we got to go in here. We got to go to class settings. Okay. And then over here, we need to implement an interface. So we're going to add in our BPI, and this should be our platform volume. Okay. So once we interact at our platform volume, we're going to right click, and I'm trying to remember what I called that. So for our BPI, we want to start platform message. All right, so that's the one we want. Okay, so we want to start it, so we're going to call it. So once we we're going to call this platform, we're going to call this function from our BPI, so our blueprint interface, and it's for our platform volume. But we need to set up our targets. We need to tell it which ones we're going to do. Just like we did with the cannon, we can actually have multiple ones that we want to do. So we're going to add in another variable. Okay, and this variable is going to be, we're just going to call this actor. We could call it platforms. We can name anything we want. And the type is actually going to be actor. Okay, and we're going to pick an actor, and we're going to do an object reference for the actor. And we're going to open up the eye on this one. Compile. And we need to drag this out here. We're going to get the actor. And this one actually needs to be an array. We need to set these up as arrays. So we need to change the variable type. we'd done this to begin with, it would have saved us some time. All right, we can close it. Now we should be able to plug that in there, compile, and save it. Okay, so we've now got our obstacle area. Now let's go back into our volume, our blueprint for our moving platforms, right? Now this one also needs to have the interface added to it. So we're going to go up to class settings. Down here for interface, we're going to hit the add button, and we're going to type in, again, BPI. We only have 3 of them in here. It's going to be the platform volume. And for this one, we're going to hit down the button here for the interface. I'm going to double click on it. And it should have, nope, it didn't do it. Double click on it. There it is. So I no longer want to use event begin play. I want to use this volume. Set this down here. I'm going to compile this. All right, let's go ahead and save everything. Go back into our sandbox. I'm going to delete both of these. I don't need them in here for right now. We go back into my content drawer, and I'm going to find this one, the one that we just created. And again, don't forget we got to do something with the getting it set up. So I'm going to go ahead and all right, I need to actually select a spline. So I have my spline selected. I'm going to select the previous spline. I'm going to change the rotation in the Y direction to 90. Or not. I have more than one selected. That's my fault. Put it back to 0. Let's try that again. Let's get the very first one. There we go. Hit 90. Change that one. This one right there, the second one, I'm going to change it to 100 for a moment in the Z. I'm going to change the X to 0. So it should be vertical. And it looks like I still got that one messed up somehow. This one should also be 90. There we go. All right. So now it's set up to go up and down. Now, if I hit play, nothing should happen. It shouldn't move. It should just sit there and go up to it. Nothing should happen. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to find my BP platform area. Drag this into the scene. And I'm going to scale it so that it's something like that. Okay, so once I'm outside the volume, nothing should happen. And then if I roll into the volume, you know what? Nothing's going to happen. Why is that? And the reason is because I actually have to assign an array to it. So right here where it says actor, I need to hit the little plus button. I need to find my little eyedropper and select that volume there. Go ahead and save it. Now let's try that. And it should move up and down. And as long as I'm still in the volume, after a few seconds, it should go down. Now, if I leave the volume, all right, I knew there was something I forgot. So for our automatic volume to actually work, we need to do a check, right? So basically, once I'm in there, it meets the satisfaction that the player is nearby. For this one right here, I'm nearby, and it automatically does this. So I overlap it, it does this, it fires it, and we're going to get the volume to go up and down, or the platform to go up and down, up and down. It's going to keep doing it because we've triggered it, and it's set up to continuously go after a certain amount of time. So what we're missing is an actual check to make sure that I am actually there, so that the player is actually on the volume. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and right click, and we're going to get player again, right? So we're going to get our player from our BPFL function list. We're going to get this one right here. We're going to get player nearby. So we're going to get the player nearby. And then we're going to put in a branch. And we want it to be true. So it's going to be connected to true. And if I am nearby, then it will work. When it goes to fire it again, after it's finished and it waits its time, it's going to do a check again. Am I still there? So let's see if this works. So nothing should happen. Now, if I go into the volume and I get on the platform, goes up. Goes down. I leave. All right. If I go back in, it should go. All right, so that's it for this tutorial. We've got our platform set up so that it has an interface. Whenever we move in and out of the volume, the platform will go up and down. You can use this in multiple ways, of course. You can set these different platforms up in different locations with the volume in a different location from the platform. You can have a delay so that if the player is at this one spot, doesn't get to the platform in time, the platform leaves without him. However you want to set that up. You can also make it so that once, it's a very small volume, the player's in it, the platform moves, it will move like it's supposed to. And then once the platform moves out of that volume and the player's out of that volume, once it finishes its rotation and the player moves off of that platform, it won't move again. It'll stay there and it'll be stuck there. So that might be something that you're interested in setting up as well, a one-way type of platform. In the next tutorial, we're going to address interfaces by setting up a call station so that if a player is in a different location from where the current platform is, we can call it. And then we'll also set up an interface for the player so that it works so that the player can get onto the platform, do an interface with it. The platform will automatically move with the player. Anyway, so that's going to be the next couple of tutorials. If you have any issues or problems with this one, please make a comment down in the comment section. I'll get back to you. Don't forget to like this tutorial if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for playing.